Shalom, shalom to the 12 tribes scattered. Sorry about that. I had a technical difficulty on the previous video. I'm going to make this short and sweet. I know it's a little late, but I am working out of my garage, and this is about the coolest time of the evening here inside my garage. So I wanted to share another resource. Today, I will be talking about the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew by George Howard. Now, this is a fantastic resource because, as many, even in the Christian circles, believe that the Gospel of Matthew was written in Hebrew. And this manuscript here is thought to be the preserved Hebrew copy of the Gospel of Matthew. So I thought it'd be fun today if we were to read Matthew 24 in light of all the things that are happening this evening, in light of all the craziness all around the world. I think Matthew 24 would be an appropriate text to look at this evening. But I want to read it out of the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew. And when you have time, I'm not going to do a in-depth study today, but if you have time, go back and see how the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew compares to the Hebrew or the Hebrew Masoretic text, which is your King James Bible. You see and find out what are the major changes or discrepancies or additions or subtractions. But tonight's study will be basically just reading the text. I'll be interested to see how it flows. I've read it before. I've taken notes. It's been a while, and tonight just felt like reading the scriptures. It's been a hectic day today. I've been kind of busy today. I've been having a lot of things to do, so I figured, you know what? Why not share some scripture with people? I don't know what you're doing tonight, but no doubt hearing the word of Yah, especially right before you're winding down, getting ready for bed, is always a good time to read the word and meditate on it. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, let me turn on this camera here, and we'll see what's going on here. Let's check it out. So again, this is the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew, the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew. Again, this is the writer is George Howard. You can easily find this book on Amazon. Well worth it. It's an amazing resource, and you need to keep a library in your home because there's coming a time here really shortly where you will not be able to purchase or come across religious literature because the times are getting very, very, very difficult. Very difficult. So here we are, Matthew 24. This is again the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew. So let's go ahead and read. Verse 1, it says, "It came to pass when Yahushua went out from the temple. As he was going, his disciples drew near to show him the buildings of the temple. He said, 'You see all these? Truly I say to you that all will be destroyed, and there will not be left one stone upon another.' As he sat on the Mount of Olives opposite the temple, Peter, John, and Andrew asked him secretly, 'When will all these things be? And what will be the sign when all these matters will take place? Or when will they begin? And when will be the end of the world, or the age, and your coming?'" Lots of meat there. We're just going to read it today. It's such a long chapter. Jesus answered them, "Beware, lest anyone should lead you astray. Because many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Messiah,' and they will lead you astray. As for you, when you hear wars and a company of hosts, beware, lest you become foolish. because all of this will occur, but the end will not be yet. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be great tumults, grievous famine, and earthquake in various places. All of these are the beginning of suffering. Then they will bind you over for tribulation, and will kill you, and you will become a reproach to all the nations for my name. Let's go on to verse 10. It says, Then many will be perturbed, deal treacherously with each other, and be enraged among themselves. False prophets will arise and lead many astray. When wickedness multiplies, the love of many will grow faint. Whoever waits until the end will be saved. Look at that. And this gospel, that is, Evangelium, will be preached in all the earth or the land for a witness concerning me to all the Gentiles, and then the end will come. This is the Antichrist, and this is the abomination which desolates, which was spoken of by Daniel as standing in the holy place. Let the one who reads understand. Then those who are in Judah or Yehuda, let them flee to the mountains. He who is upon the house, let him not come down to take anything out of his house. He who is in the field, let him not turn back to take his garment. Woe to those who are pregnant, and to those who nurse children in those days. Pray to Yah that your flight will not be on the Shabbat, because then there will be great distress, which has not been from the creation of the world unto now, and as will not be. Except those days were few, no flesh would be saved. But for the sake of the chosen, those days will be few. At that time, if one should say to you, Behold, the Messiah is here, or do not believe it. Because false messiahs and false prophets will arise, and they will give signs and great wonders, so that if it can be, they will come to lead the chosen astray. Wow. Then, if they should say to you, Behold, he is in the wilderness, do not go out. And, Behold, he is in the chambers, do not believe it. Behold, I tell you before it happens. Again, Jesus said to his disciples, As the lightning comes from the east and is seen in the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Verse 28. Wherever the body is, there will be gathered the vultures. At that time, after the tribulation of those days, the sun will grow dark, the moon will not give forth its light, the stars will fall from heaven, and the host of heaven will be shaken. Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and all the families of the earth will weep, and will see the Son of Man on the clouds of heaven, with a great host, and with dreadful appearance. He will send his angels with a trumpet, and with a great shout, to gather his chosen from the four winds of heaven, from one end of heaven unto the other. From the fig tree learn the parable. When you see its branches and leaves sprouting, know that he is near to the gates. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things shall be done. Heaven and earth will pass away, but of that day or that time there is none who knows, not even the angels of heaven, but the Father only. And it says 37, and again Jesus said to his disciples, as in the days of Noah, so will it be in the days of the Son of Man. Just as before the flood they were eating, drinking, being fruitful, and multiplying until the day when Noah entered the ark. They did not know until the flood came upon them and destroyed them. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then, if there shall be two plowing in the field, one righteous and the other evil, the one will be taken and the other left. Two women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and the other left. This is because the angels at the end of the world will remove the stumbling blocks from the world and will separate the good from the evil. Then Jesus said to his disciples, therefore watch with me, because you do not know at what hour your master is coming. This you know, if one knew at what hour the thief was coming, he would watch and not allow him to dig into his house. So you should be prepared, because you do not know at what hour the Son of Man is coming or is going to come. What do you think of the faithful and wise servant, whose master places him over his children to give them food in its time? Blessed is that servant whose master finds him doing thus when he comes. Truly I say to you that he will place him over his children. But if that servant should be evil, and should say in his heart, my master is late in coming, and should begin to beat the servant of his master, and should eat and drink with gluttons, his master will come in a day for which he does not wait, and at a time which he does not know. He will divide him and place his portion with the hypocrites. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The word of the Most High. So, lots and lots of information there. Hey, Sister Lalisa, how are you? Shalom. I just wanted to share Matthew 24 out of the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew. As you can see, there is some changes, some very important changes or additions in the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew. But one thing I want to really focus on is back here in let's see over here. Let me get you the overhead camera. Is back here, back in verse right there, right here, verse 37. Notice what Jesus says here, or the Son of the Most High says. And Jesus said to his disciples. Now he's talking to us today. He's talking to me. He's talking to everyone who's called by his name. He's saying to his disciples, or his Talmudim, his followers, his obedient followers, who obey him and keep his commandments. As in the days of Noah, so will it be in the days of the Son of Man. Just as before the flood, they were eating, drinking, being fruitful, and multiplying until the day when Noah entered the ark. They did not know until the flood came upon them and destroyed them. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. There will be two plowing in the field, one righteous and the other evil. The one will be taken and the other left. Two women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and the other left. Now let's stop there. Notice what Messiah is saying. He says they were eating and drinking and being fruitful and multiplying until the day when Noah and his family entered the ark. So who was left outside? Everybody else except for Noah and his family, correct? And then verse 39 tells us that the flood came and what? Destroyed them. If they were destroyed, right? If they were destroyed at the coming of the Son of Man, and in verse 40 it says, then if there be two plowing in the field, one righteous, right? Meaning, what does righteous mean? Righteous mean one who obeys Torah, No doubt about it. And what is Torah? The instructions of Yah. One who obeys the instructions of Yah, not lawlessness, but one who obeys this righteous one and the other evil. Now, evil, you would think, is one who is just a heathen or a reprobate. But in Hebrew, this word evil doesn't necessarily mean that. It actually means one who twists or perverts the true path, the truth of Yah's Torah. He twists it or perverts it, or makes the paths of Yah, which are straight, into crooked paths. So this is not talking about heathens. This word here is talking to believers and so-called believers. And this reminds me of people today who are professing to know the Most High, who say they're following God. And I say that loosely, right? And they say they love God and God knows their hearts, but yet their lives doesn't reflect it. You see the difference? There's a difference between a righteous one who believes, and because he believes, he obeys. He's righteous. He follows Torah. He follows instructions. He follows the Most High's appointed feast, his 7 feasts. He doesn't do pagan holidays. He doesn't eat pig. He doesn't lie, steal. He doesn't commit adultery. He doesn't bear false witness. He doesn't have other gods except for Yah. He doesn't do graven images. That kind of stuff. These basic principles of one who calls himself a follower of the Most High. This evil one, the one, who would you think would be the one taken and the other one left? In the days of Noah, the ones taken by the flood waters were what? They were the ones who were evil. They weren't the ones who were good. The ones taken by the waters. If you read that text in the King James, especially in the King James, I believe the word they use is taken. The waters took them. What am I saying? What I'm basically saying is that right now in Christianity, they'll have you believe that taken is a good thing. But it's not. To be taken in a secret rapture is not a good thing. Think about that. The Most High, the Son of the Most High is comparing in the times of Noah, the righteous. We know that Noah was righteous. And the other ones had to have been evil, right? They were taken. How can today's people be preaching that to be taken is a good thing? How? How can it be? The Messiah is giving you exegesis. He's giving you a parable here. He's giving you an example. I'm trying to stress this point because too many today are believing lies that are being preached about a secret rapture, about getting taken, whizzed away somewhere, and not going through tribulation, not going through suffering. Somehow they're considered special. Somehow they believe that they're special and God wouldn't beat up his bride. I keep hearing that argument over and over. But here the Messiah, he's giving you a picture perfect illustration. It says that Noah obeyed the Most High. He was righteous. He obeyed the instructions. He got in the ark and him and his family were saved. And the ones that were taken did not obey Torah, did not obey the instructions, the warnings to repent and come back to him, to come back to Torah. What am I telling you? I'm telling you, if you're listening to this message and if you consider yourself a follower of the Most High, if you consider yourself a Christian but are not following Torah or the Father's instructions or the Father's set apart days, to be taken is not a good thing. Your preachers, your pastors are telling you to be taken is a good thing. I'm telling you it's not. I'm telling you it's not. And these signs, all these signs are going to come upon all of us. I'm not exempted. Neither was the righteous. But the righteous was covered, was protected, was shielded, because Noah found grace. He found protection and preservation through his obedience. Come back, I'm telling you, Christians, come back to Torah. Come back to the 10 covenant vows, the 10 commandments. come back to the feast days of the Most High. Now let's continue verse 41. This is the last verse I'm going to look at. Again, the theme continues. 2 women will be grinding at the mill. One will be taken and the other left. This is because the angels at the end of the world will remove the stumbling blocks from the world. Guess who those stumbling blocks are? Preachers, rabbis, all of you guys preaching lies, preaching heresies, preaching the traditions and doctrines of men. You are becoming a stumbling block because you yourself are not coming into the kingdom, and you are becoming a stumbling block to those who want to come into the kingdom. That's right, you heard me right. Preachers, rabbis who are preaching doctrines and teachings of men. You are a stumbling block. You yourself are not getting in, and neither are you allowing others, your flock, to come in the door. That's right. From the world, and will separate the good from the evil. This word here does not mean in our English language, oh, I'm a good person. You know what good means? It means one who's purposeful and functional to his covenant. A person who's good is one who does what he's supposed to. He does it according not to his or man's way, but according to Yah's way. And he does it because he understands he's in a covenant relationship with the Most High. Christians and Jews are lawless. You're saying, how can the Jews be? Because the Jews follow the Talmud. They don't follow the Torah. They don't. You need to do some research if you don't believe me. They uphold the Talmud far and above the Torah. Do some research and you'll find out. And the Christians, well, the Christian says that the law has been nailed to the cross. Not understanding because they do not rightly, as they say, divide the word of Yah. The law is something completely different, and that's for another teaching. And I'm going to bring that teaching out because even some in the Hebrew roots don't understand what law is being spoken of in the new covenant. There's a difference because the translators of the English Bibles have done a disservice to the Hebrew. So take your pick. Jews and Christians both are lawless in a sense, and only the remnant, those who are in between the two Jews and Christians, this small remnant, which is taking the narrow and difficult path to the Most High by obedience through suffering, through perseverance, will we be taken by the angels and to be with the Father and to rule and reign with Him by taking the straight and narrow path, the narrow and difficult way that leads to life. To be good, purposeful, functional to the covenant. You don't want to be taken, Christians. Taken is not a good thing. Read your Bible. Read it. Stop listening to men. So, I just wanted to share that with you. Again, the book is the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew by George Howard. Fantastic resource. I highly recommend it. Like I said, you can always rewind this video and pause it in places and compare it with your King James Bible, and you'll be surprised to find so many nuggets hidden in the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew. Let me go over here to Facebook now. Anybody, any comments, anything on your mind? I'm gonna go ahead and fix over to this platform because I was using a OBS system earlier, so I couldn't see the comments. But as I was saying, to be taken is not a good thing. To be lawless is not a good thing. To be taken into a secret rapture is a heresy and a false doctrine. And some may say, yeah, you know what? We heard your video and said that it didn't start till like the 1800s or 1700s. But I have books that say it started in the 300s, the 400s, 500s. But by that time, the Christian church was so pagan, it didn't even resemble the Hebrew faith. It was so far detached from the Hebrew faith. So I don't put a lot of weight into that. As a matter of fact, I'm very cautious when it comes to the church fathers, because a lot of them were preaching heresies and they couldn't get their act together. They were fighting amongst themselves. So I don't put a lot of weight in anything after 300 AD or any time around that time, because the church was being paganized. And so basically that was it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys this evening. Again, get your resources, get material, study. The time is now. Difficult times, as I said, are coming. And Bibles are already on the chopping block. They are taking their last steps off the plank, and they're becoming a thing of the past. And now you're gonna be the only one to feed yourself, you and Yah. He's gonna have to be your teacher. You're gonna have to be a serious student of the Bible. But you gotta do your part. You gotta study, research, meditate, pray. I don't know what to say. This fall season is going to be unlike anything else we've ever seen. I don't know exactly how, but I at the beginning, right before 2020, I remember telling my wife, and she can vouch for me. I had an open vision, and I just saw lots and lots of destruction. I saw a lot of suffering. I saw a lot of just. I couldn't believe it. It grieved me, and it knocked my heart like back and down into my. Just really, I don't know how to explain it. And I still feel that feeling like it's still not over and it's only going to get worse. Well, that's it for me tonight. I don't have much else to say. I want to just come up here and just share the word. I have to do my part. I have to sound the alarm. I have to blow the trumpet in Zion. I'm telling you. Get right with Yah. Repent and come back to Torah. Follow the 10 covenant vows. Exodus chapter 20 and Deuteronomy. Again, book of Deuteronomy. You'll see the 10 commandments again as they were preparing to go into the promised land. Moses knew that the Most High wanted to stress it to his people, how important the 10 covenant vows were. How important was it for them? Can you imagine how much more for us in a world filled with wickedness and lawlessness? Yep. Sister Lalisa, any comments, anything you want to share as we close this out? All right. Going to go ahead and close it out. We've been on here 20 something minutes. Again, shalom and Boker Tov. Yah bless you. Good night.